Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you today with a new WWE release. This is the best of In Your House, pay-per-view classics of 1995 to 1999. In Your House is what WWE used to change the face of pay-per-view wrestling in the United States. You know, growing up as a kid, you always had the classic five: the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, King of the Ring as your staple pay-per-views. Oh, Survivor Series, I apologize. Those were what got you through the year. That is what you watched Superstars for. That's what you watched Monday Night Raw for. That's what you watched Primetime Wrestling for. Those are the reason why you watch the jobber shows. To keep up on the storylines. Around 1995, they went from running just the 5 pay-per-views a year to having monthly pay-per-views where they would fill in the gaps. Every month they would run an In Your House pay-per-view, which honestly, it was lower pay-per-view than the Classic Fives. I believe it was $20 to get the pay-per-views, which was easy to talk your parents into if you weren't asking to get the pay-per-views every year. Well, not every year, I apologize, every month. If you just asked for one that came along that really, really stood out, it was easy because it's only $20. $20! And it was easy to do. Some shows were really, really good. And some other shows was just like another edition of Monday Night Raw that they were just charging you $20 to watch. Some were, they all weren't, great classic rivalry matches. But the first In Your House was built around Diesel versus Sid for the WWE Championship. It was easy to get behind. They had a whole lot of promotion for the In Your House pay-per-view. They gave away a freaking house. You'll see it in the DVD extras on here for you. Hopefully, they did a WWE magazine article. They caught up with the person that won the house, and they said they had to sell it and everything like that. But this house was freaking awesome. It was somewhere, I believe it was in Orlando, Florida. I know for a fact that it was in Florida. It had a indoor screened pool, huge house. They did these things where they made you think the wrestlers were going to live with you if you watched the commercials. I'm sure they're on YouTube. I remember Todd Pettengill, and I'm pretty sure it was Sonny, pulling the envelope out to see who the winner of the contest was. And I remember praying that it was going to be me and my phone was going to ring. It didn't ring, and I still lived where I lived forever. But it would have been nice to win the freaking house. I sent in like 1 billion postcards for it. To get a chance. But I mean, this In Your House is going to be stacked. As you can see, the wrestlers they put on the cover, everybody's on here. Undertaker, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Kane, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and Mankind. You got Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith. Triple H as the guy that you might not know unless you've been watching wrestling for a long time. Davey Boy is probably the lesser-known star on here. He is a legend, but he honestly was a big part of these In Your House pay-per-views. He had Beware of Dog, Canadian Stampede. A lot of these ones, he was a really, really big star in these days for WWF. And, he deserves a lot of props for what he did back in the day. These discs, honestly, when I first looked at them, they looked a little bland for what the discs normally look like in these DVD sets. But I honestly really like them because they honestly remind me of what a CD would look like in 1995 if you were to go out and buy the newest CD, where it didn't have a whole lot on it, pretty much. Just says the best of In Your House. Disc 1, Disc 2. Prop these guys up. Match listings are behind the discs. Roll through these really fast. Todd Pettengill hosts these, the set, so he'll be the guy talking between all the matches, but you got Bret the Hitman Hart versus Hakushi. We met the biggest Hakushi fan in SummerSlam 2010 outside the Staples Center. That was an awesome, really great day. Jeff Jarrett versus Shawn Michaels. You got Razor Ramon versus Dean Douglas, who is Shane Douglas. For you ECW fans, Triple H versus Henry O'Godwin. Henry O'Godwin is the guy that really put Triple H on the map, and I really hope that he is featured and interviewed on the Triple H DVD that's going to be coming out. If it's not, they're sort of skipping over that whole Triple H guy who he first was as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That was the guy that he really, really feuded with back in the day. I'd even really like it if they interviewed Mark Merrow, who I don't think he's on the best terms with WWE, but they have called in people for interviews for DVD projects before that haven't been on the best page for page. But those are the two guys that he used to battle all the time. Bret the Hitman Hart versus British Bulldog, like I said, a WWE Championship match. Right here you got Shawn Michaels versus Diesel. Shawn Michaels versus Mankind. That's the Mind Games pay-per-view. Really put over on the Mick Foley DVD that just came out. Probably one of the best Mankind technical matches that you'll ever see. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H. Undertaker versus Mankind in a Buried Alive match. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart versus Vader versus Undertaker. That's going to be the Four Corners match from, I believe that was the Final Four pay-per-view, where that was where Austin won the Royal Rumble, but then they took it away from him because he was eliminated and came back in to win. Then after he celebrated on Monday Night Raw, I think it was Gorilla Monsoon who stripped him and set up that match. There you go. Hart Foundation versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, and LOD. That was a really, really good match. That's from Canadian Stampede. Honestly, if they put that whole DVD out as one show, as like an Attitude Collection, what do they call those things? You know what I'm trying to say. Those rarer DVDs from back in the day that everybody's trying to find. That would be a great show to have. Really, really good. I have it on a DVD-R, recorded out the pay-per-view. But I honestly would say anybody get that who can. Here we go. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. Everybody's gonna already have this. Oh, no, I apologize. I thought that was gonna be the Hell in the Cell match, but this is actually from Ground Zero. Here we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Owen Hart, Cactus Jack, and Chainsaw Charlie versus New Age Outlaws and Savio Vega. You might wonder why the hell Savio Vega is fighting with DX in this match. It was basically, this is the match that was supposed to gap between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, where it was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, this was right before he really left the WWF for a long time. How long was he gone after WrestleMania before he made his comeback? 6 years? 4 years? Something like that. I can't really remember, but Shawn Michaels wasn't able to work this show, and Savio Vega, for some reason, I don't even know how they recruited him. I think they just sort of put him in the match, much like the TNA match where Scott Hall no-showed, and they just put Eric Young on the team. Sort of like that. I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure there was no real explanation. Just Savio Vega went out there because it was kind of weird because he was involved in the whole gang warfare deal that they were running at the time, and he didn't really fit in with DX, but they needed somebody to fill the team, especially losing their one main eventer. I don't know why they would only pull Savio, but that's who they found. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker versus Mankind. It's just a tag team championship match. I can't remember why the hell they would be doing that, but we'll figure it out. Ken Shamrock versus Mankind. This is when they were fighting over the Intercontinental Championship. Here we have The Rock versus Mankind from St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That polishes it off in 1999. Then you get the Blu-ray exclusives. You have Bret the Hitman Hart against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Taka Michinoku versus Brian Christopher, Shawn Michaels versus Ken Shamrock, and D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac. From reading over this, it's pretty funny that they put Bret the Hitman Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover of the DVD if he's only on the Blu-ray features. But they probably needed a picture to get everybody on there. But on the back, you got Stone Cold getting arrested. You got Mick Foley and Paul Bearer, and then you have Undertaker. The matches they like to really highlight are Bret the Hitman Hart versus British Bulldog, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, and The Rock versus Mankind. This is going to be a real fun set to check it out. As I said earlier, Todd Pettengill from the WWF days is back to host this set, and it's nice to have him back inside the family, even if it is just for one night. Hopefully we can see him in some more instant futures, because back in the day, man, he used to host Livewire, which was like a 1-hour clip show, and him and Sonny were drop dead funny. Not as good as Heenan and Gorilla, but really, really good. Glad to have this in your house set. Hopefully I'll be blazing through this tonight with my buddies. We watched the Mick Foley matches in one night, the last sitting, and I think the Bret the Hitman Hart took us a few nights, but that was horribly painful. And if it wasn't for us on Twitter trying to get tweets back from Bryan Danielson and from Chris Jericho, I don't think we would have made it. I know I fell asleep at one point. I fell asleep, went through one match, woke back up, and we polished her off. But the Bret the Hitman Hart DVD was like pulling teeth. I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I said, hopefully we have the viewing party tonight, and I can get a review up for this as soon as possible. If not, always check out Luke Cara, or always check out In Zach We Trust, WWE Punk Fan 19, or we already said that we were going to do 2006 next, but maybe me and Miguel can talk about this freaking year 88 as soon as we can. One way or another, one of us is putting something up and you can check it out. Peace out, guys. Have fun.